Hey guys, what is up? Lord Nick here, bringing you another episode of the Dangerous Game podcast. This week, I'm joined by my co-host Sarcasm, and unfortunately, we don't have Goomba this week, so we are down a man. So just be me and Sark, kind of talking about the topics that Sark prepared for this week, because I prepared everything around Goomba being here. So, uh, what have you been up to this week, Sark?
I watched a lot of StarCraft, played some League, and I went to see the Demon Slayer movie
Oh, how was it?
at the theater. The first half was like really boring. It felt like a filler episode of an anime, but the second half was fucking nuts. It made it worth it.
I wanted to go see it, especially after I started hanging out with a lot of guys at A&M San Antonio. So just hanging out with people there. A lot of really nice gamers and such. Not many of them, a couple of them play League, but they're all talking about this weekend. They're all going out as a giant group to go see it. Their group got so large they split it up into two showings of the movie. Like,
Oh,
and I was debating like, hey, but I don't know them well enough. I've only been hanging out with them for like a week and a half now, so I was like, I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, I'm gonna join you. That would be kind of weird. So, also they were choosing a movie theater on the completely other side of town, so that was another reason I didn't really want to do it.
man, it makes me so glad that I live in like a smaller city though. Like
mm,
because fucking dude, I went to see the movie and at first it was only me and my brother. There was one other group that like because you have to pre-order your tickets now, you know.
uh-huh.
So when I ordered mine, it showed like where the seats were available, and it was I ordered like 10. I can't believe someone ordered tickets later than me. I ordered like 15 minutes before the movie started, and there was only me and my brother. So I was like, holy shit, we're gonna get the whole theater to ourselves. But then like one row of other people showed up after, like
Two
six people.
weeaboos in our entire town. Whoop! Here they come from the
Yeah.
neighboring town to get in. Uh,
Well, there are also like three viewings of it. Like
oh,
there was around the same time, so that might have been part of it. And we
yeah.
were like the latest group because there were two dubs and one sub, or no, two subs and one dub. So I wasn't going to see the dub, so that already ruled that out. And then the other what's it called? The other subtitled one was like 30 minutes earlier, but I was still at work, so I couldn't order tickets for it or be there. But it was also on the like ultra wide screen, room.
I legitimately would have went to see either, and most
Yeah,
likely dubbed.
really?
Just I would have probably gone and seen the dub for a couple of reasons. One, I don't trust a lot of greasy nerds, especially when there's still a pandemic going on. Because we can't even be cleanly when we're
Oh,
going to like magic tournaments and shit. I
oh
could
yeah,
not
but
trust them if they were going to go for this. And I live in a big enough
oh
city
shit.
that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that would scare me. Two, I don't mind dubbed. Like
I
I
see.
don't have a preference. Like if I see it in dub first, I'm gonna watch the show in dubbed. If I see it in sub first, I'm gonna whatever I see it in first is what I'm gonna watch it in.
Yeah, I watched the whole series in subs, so that might have been part of why. It would have been really weird to like
Yeah.
start hearing the characters speak in English
you,
when I watched the whole thing in Japanese.
yeah, especially because
Yeah.
so like outside of freaking oh I mean Nezuko, she doesn't say anything, so she sounds the same in both really. But I mean there's a bit more anime girl sounds coming out of the sub than in the dub with her, but like they actually for between them, like in comparison to some of the other animes that I've watched in both, I have to say that their main characters actually sound relatively similar voice actor wise in both. I mean, obviously they sound different because they're speaking different languages, but like it's not so drastic as in certain other ones, like where you go to like I'm trying to think of a good example of this. So like Naruto, for instance, Naruto himself
Yeah. Oh my
sounds
god.
drastically different between the two voice actors. Sasuke sounds drastically different between the two voice actors. But like in this one, like
They
I didn't actually notice as much of one. Like maybe it's just because I don't care anymore. But like
they changed the voice actor for Naruto, right?
yeah, they did.
Okay.
That
And
also messed with it a little
I mean,
because
it definitely like this is probably another case where like I watched the sub first, so like watching Naruto dubbed was just fucking weird to me, dude. Because in my head, their voices are already set, and the way they talk, you know. And I
Yeah,
don't know, like I feel like Japanese voice actors in general just have maybe it's because I don't know the language, so it like is purely on how I'm hearing them talk. I don't know.
yeah.
Actually,
I don't know. I
maybe
have issues with certain animes that I've watched with the Japanese voice actors.
yeah,
Yeah, like there's a
because
few of
like
them that I'm like, man, this is much better done in dub. Just because, like, also like
I think it's just
I don't
weird
know.
for me to hear English voices come out of anime characters, like in general now, because I've watched so much.
That's fair.
Like
You get
it's kind
accustomed
of
to it one way,
it's
right?
kind of like if I watched like a Disney movie in another language, it'd just be like fucking weird to me, you know? I'm like,
Watching
no,
that
this
shit
is
in Spanish is amazing.
yeah, like wait,
Watching anything that was not originally dubbed for Spanish in Spanish is phenomenal. Not gonna
yeah,
not gonna
that's what
lie.
I mean. Like, I can't imagine watching like The Lion King in like another language. It just look freaking weird to me. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
100%.
know.
I
It,
think dubs have gotten better than like in the 90s there was no like so like the biggest reason that a lot of shows have issues with dubs coming out later now is cuz they go back and they reanimate the mouse to make it look a little bit closer.
yeah,
So like dubs look closer. Like you can listen to a dub, but if you've listened to a sub and then go to the dub, if you've become attached to the characters already, yeah, there's no like you can't switch
yeah,
in between the two
exactly.
easily. It become and no matter which one you listen to first, it's the one you're going to become more accustomed to. Like I love watching Redo the Healer. I don't know if you've watched that one. That one's a fucked up
No,
anime.
I have
It's
no
a
clue
really
about it.
fucked up anime, but it's got a really great plot to it in the end. I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast because it definitely would get us like in trouble, I think. Um
Or something. God
it's
damn it.
but if they ever did a dub of it, I don't know if I could ever watch it. Like it's one of those few that I was like, man, I really liked this one. Their voice actors sounded good to the character design. That's the problem I generally have issue with in some animes is like the voice that I hear for a character just doesn't match the body of the character to a degree.
Yeah,
So for instance, like in Sword Art, there's a blacksmith who's a black guy and he's a big burly black guy, and the voice actor they use for him is like a 20-year-old small frail Asian kid,
yeah, that sounds
and
weird.
it throws me off so much. And part of that's because I know what that guy sounds like in his English dub, and he's got a deep black man voice. Like so, like it threw me off a bit. But also just looking at the character, I was like, that doesn't seem right. And then like there were certain other small characters who had deeper voices than him, and I was like, like it really it really throws you off sometimes. Um, but anyhow, seeing as this is a League of Legends podcast and we just spent the first couple of minutes talking about anime,
I
uh,
mean,
I'm not gonna
this is a
say it's a
this is a
problem. Just
talking
saying.
about whatever we're talking about podcast. Besides, we've done like so many episodes of League. Sometimes I'm just bored of talking about League.
That's fair.
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe it's not really like because I don't like it. It's more like sometimes it feels like we've exhausted the topic.
we've
Like
exhausted a lot of them.
even like the duo Q thing that I posted today that I wanted to talk about. It's like I feel like we've generally. I was like, have we already talked about this? Like I know we've like briefly gone over some stuff like here and there, but
I
I
mean,
wasn't sure if like have we made a topic out of this before?
I don't know if we've actually talked about the actual aspect of duo itself. I think
Yeah,
we've talked about solo queue like into the fucking ground, but I don't think
yeah,
we've ever really actually talking about the benefits or negatives thereof of a duo partner.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know for a fact we really haven't talked about flex because neither of us really play that game mode. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. I was kind of curious. Like, I wonder how many people like actually enjoy Flex as a game mode,
I don't know.
and
Some
like,
reason when I play it, I just don't have that same feeling that I play when I play solo queue. Like I don't get why. It is the exact same game as League of Legends. I mean, I'm a little bit lower in elo in it to a small degree, but like there shouldn't be such a detraction from it in terms of just like I don't like it to the same degree.
I think the biggest thing is that I don't like about it is that it like combines two groups of people that I don't want to be a part of either that much. Which is there's like the 5-man pre-made Flex people who are like not that they're always super tryhard, but their team is like a little more coordinated, right? Like they
Usually.
they know what they at least have an idea of what their teammates want to do, or they can communicate what they want to do. And then there's the other group that like literally just treat it like normals, which is fine. Like I don't think that's an issue. But then when those teams like hit each other, it's just not fun. Like for either team to get one.
Yeah, because one of them's
Really,
looking
it's
for competitive practice and the other one's
yeah,
looking for fun.
exactly. Like when you're
And
playing for flex with your like pre-made team or whatever, like because you don't have any other way to practice because you don't have a scrim or something, then it completely ruins it when you run into like a a group of like a two queues and a solo queue flex player,
yeah,
and like half the players literally don't even care. They're just practicing a new champion or something, and it's like now it's not fun for anyone because the group that's playing for fun doesn't get to have fun because the other group's stomping, and then the group that's stomping wants practice, but it's not really practice because you're just gonna destroy them. Like you're not learning anything.
so like that ends up posing the question, and I love this question that always stems from it because it comes up in any conversation I have about Flex. When do we think that 5Q is going to come back? When do we think Teams 5s might be making a return? Do we think it will make a return?
I don't think it will, but it's kind of weird because I don't know if I feel like people always talk like League's getting more popular, but then I guess I don't imagine there being enough people to have a good fives queue.
So like so people talk about like League getting more popular, and globally it is, but like North America it kind of has stagnated, since its conception really. It had a huge spike and it hasn't really ever dropped from that spike, but it's never really gone up from that spike either.
I
Uh
looked up like the yearly. Actually, I don't know how
have we
accurate this
actually
is.
grown? Like
Yeah,
cuz
yeah, we have. We haven't grown as fast as the other regions, but we're growing every year.
well,
There's like
that's
I didn't know this either. I was looking up the really old post, and then I realized he made recent updates too, where he posts like once a year, where he uses OPGG because OPGG shows the number of ranked accounts,
mhm.
and the number of ranked accounts every year for NA is growing, but it's not like by much, if that makes sense.
It's like a couple
And
thousand maybe every year.
no, it's like 20 to 30%, I think.
Oh,
But the other regions are like 50%, and not only 50%, but they were already bigger than us. So like, not only were they already bigger than us,
they're
but they're
still
growing at it.
outpacing us by a
Yeah,
giant
it's
margin.
yeah, exactly. Because if they were only growing by like 10% and we grew by like 25%, even though that sounds like we grew so much more, it'd be like the same amount of new players. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because 10% of our player base, or 10% of their player base, is like equal to 25% of ours. But not only are they growing more by the numbers, they're growing more by the percentage too, which is insane.
I mean, but you also got to look at it to a degree. Like, what has North America ever done for esports in general? Like, we've talked about that in the past too. I know, was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
we
we
have.
don't have an
Wait,
infrastructure in North America for it. But
did we talk about that on like this a podcast or just to ourselves? I don't even remember.
I think we've done both. But I know we did
Okay.
it on a podcast once because I brought up the ideas of like what would fix North America's pro scene. And I know that we argued over if it was that simple or not that simple. And it's really funny because Riot's proposing doing some of the small things that I mentioned,
Yeah.
which has helped. Like, I mean, like shit. Like, did you watch the Academy thing, the Proving Grounds tournament?
No, but I
No
saw
org
the
won.
message.
A
Oh,
team with
really?
no
Oh, that's
org,
really cool.
no sponsor, five solo queue players, and two coaches that didn't get to make it on teams.
Who were the players?
Viper and Five Fire, Value, and Big.
Wait, Viper and Big have played, right?
Viper, Big, and have all been in the pro scene.
Oh, wait, you said Anda too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And then
makes
the only
sense.
two that were rookies were Five Fire and Value, and both of those were solo queue
Okay.
guys that couldn't even break it into the amateur scene.
That's still a good amount of new players. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, these were also five players that were made it into the pro scene and were considered in the bottom of the pro scene the entire time. And then they just came through and like outside of one game, one set of games, like which was against I think it was against C9s in the upper bracket semis. Uh, they looked disgustingly polished. Like they did really well. Vipers shined a lot better than I had seen him in the LCS play. Like, and I've hated that player in terms of just performance, not
He's this
necessarily
top
as
laner, right?
yeah, he's the Riven one trick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense that he's not able to perform. If he's like a one trick.
But I mean,
Sure, that makes
this series he did okay. Like this last series, he did okay in a couple of the games and did really well in one of them for sure that I saw. Um, but like Five Fire was looking really good. Big
Were
was
there
playing really good.
were
Ando
there
actually looked
a
like a
lot
legit
of
jungle.
were there a lot of washed up players?
mm,
Like, or
yes
were
and
they
no.
mostly new?
So like in the finals, C9's top laner is Darshan.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
fine.
I mean, like he's still in the amateurs. He's still in the academy scene.
Yeah,
Um, and then you had, let me think. There was a couple of them. I mean, Damonte's in there. You had I'd have to go look through the different orgs. There were quite a few players that were just like,
yeah.
I am
Let me just
surprised
look it
you're
up.
here. There's a lot of teams involved too, so that was kind of neat. Um, some of them towards the beginning were collegiate teams as well to try to introduce
Um,
collegiate into the amateur scenes so that they can
oh,
kind of start branching that
Surefire.
gap. Oh yeah, Fire, but I don't really consider him washed, though he's been around for freaking forever.
Well, I'm on. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. Like,
Which
I'm
is
on. Like,
like
yeah. If
even when he got his first start in the LCS, like it's like he was known in OCE for like 3 years prior to that. Like
Keith is still there. Wait, there's a guy named Jensen that isn't Jensen from
yes,
Singapore. What the fuck?
that was very
Okay.
confusing when I got on stream and saw that name. I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, Dreams is an old player too, right?
No, not really. He is and he isn't. So Dreams,
He played in EU.
he played in EU last split and the split before it, and I think one he may have played 3 splits in EU. Um,
Um, he subbed in like 2016,
yeah,
and
like
he was on Misfit.
he's been around for a bit, but he hasn't like had a whole lot of starts on big regions for a while,
Yeah.
except in EU where he did actually relatively well. And then he got picked up by FlyQuest, and I was like, oh shit, that's gonna be their starting support, right? No, they put freaking they put in what's his face over him, and then didn't put Dreams in until the very end, where he a Diamond. They put Diamond in before him, and then they put Dreams in at the very end. And Dreams looked like in the like 2-3 games that he played, he looked that just so much better than Diamond the entire split. Like, it was ridiculous. But even in this tournament, Dreams actually showed up pretty well. Like it was kind of surprising. But how did we get to this? We were
We're
just talking
talking
about
about.
topics. We were
Yeah,
talking about topics that we talked about.
yeah, that's how we go. Okay,
um,
Haunted. Oh yeah, Haunted and Cody Center in here. I forgot about
yep, they're on TSM Academy. Uh, like there's some legitimate players in there. Like so, it's kind of interesting. Um, but so like solo versus duo, do you have a? I mean, I see you play solo queue more than ever, but is that just because you just don't have a duo partner that you trust, or is that just because you prefer solo?
that. I prefer solo because when I lose with someone and I feel like I didn't play that well, I'm like, fuck. Especially because most of the people I duo with, it's like they ask me to duo, you know. So I feel like when someone asks me to duo, it means they think that I'm good enough to like be worth playing with. So if I have a bad game, I'm just like, fuck. Like now I feel bad because they asked me to do and I just fucking ran it down in their game, you know. So I usually prefer to play by myself if I do play. Um, but I think if I find like a decent duo or a duo that I don't feel that pressured to like do well all the time with, then I kind of enjoy it more. Not that like I feel super pressured. It's more like I don't know. I feel bad when I fucking when someone asks me to do and I play bad in their game when they're expecting me to do well. You get what I mean? Like I let them down. So then I just play solo instead.
So like I've been on the flip side of that coin. There's a handful of people that are always like Nick, let's duo, and I have to turn them down to a degree. And sometimes it's not because like I don't think I can hold up to what I'm gonna do, but sometimes I can't also trust they're gonna do very well. But I've also been on the side where it's like I'm doing with the person that I think is gonna carry me, and they start doing bad, and then I'm sitting there and I feel like I spend a lot of that time at that point like trying to convince them it's not them. Like cuz sometimes they do make a mistake, but that mistake didn't lead to the main problem. Like, oh shoot, that mistake, all it did is it cost us a little bit of pressure at a time when nothing mattered. Like it didn't like, oh no, it's not like we can't go set up for the next objective or do these things. It's just like, okay, we can't push that turret at the moment now. It's not like super impactful loss half the time, but it's still like they feel demoralized because, and I've been in that scenario also where it's like I want to perform for that person that I'm playing with, so that I don't look like the weak link here or that I'm getting carried, and then I don't perform, and that always feels kind of bad. Uh, but it's I think that's just kind of a small mental gap that you could just sometimes have when you're looking at it, and you just kind of have to find that person that you just enjoy playing with. So
Yeah.
like I've had a long time duo now. I mean, '09 and I have played with each other for over a year now. Um, almost a year and a half probably. I think we started back towards 2019, towards the end of 2019. Um, and he and I have off and on again duoed pretty frequently. We'll go through spurts where we'll just duo all the time, and then one of us takes a break, or one of us just kind of wants to solo for a while. Uh, but like we both enjoy playing with each other, and I think that's a big part of it as well. Is you have to find that person you can enjoy playing with, that you both want to climb, and you know you're both going to take it seriously to a point, and but you can still have fun while doing it. Like for me in '09, I mean, we're serious the entire time, but throughout the time we'll be like, we'll watch like our teammates will be pinging us, and we're like, what the fuck you pinging us for? Even if we know we're doing something wrong, we're just like, oh, this motherfucker over here who's died like 4 times, even though we've died like seven. Like, like we'll make fun of them, even though maybe we're doing worse, and it just keeps the mental nice, and it doesn't put that stress on us really. Like, we definitely still want to win. Like, we lose more than a couple of, but also the nice aspect of it is like in solo queue, I run into that issue where I have that where I can just keep playing when I'm tilted. When I'm playing with him, I don't keep playing when I'm tilted because once we're tilted, we're both generally probably tilted at the same things and at the same time, and we both want to stop, and then we both stop because there's somebody else there to stop us. Uh, like, because if somebody else quits out, I'm more inclined to quit out too. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
so it's actually kind of nice having that person there that tilts with you, kind of thing.
It's
It's kind of weird, but
it's kind of weird, but it's like oddly enough, my duos usually get irritated because I don't play enough in a session. I don't know why, but I play like one, two, three games at the most, and then I'm like, fuck, I don't. That's good enough, you know. Even if we go like 3-0, and I know they want to play again, but I'm just like, I don't know, I can't. I don't want to. Maybe it's just because I can't play much League in one setting anymore either. No, I can like grind out the ARM, so I'm not sure.
ARAMs is different though. That's not anywhere near the same
Or
game.
just like normals, I guess. Maybe it's because when I win like three in a row, I'm always thinking like, damn, I if I lose like one or two, I'm basically back to where I started.
Yeah, you get in your head too much. Like I'm a person that never leaves my head, and I even think you get in your own. You psych yourself out even more than I psych myself out. Just nuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I'm playing, I don't think it's an issue, but when I think about my how much I'm climbing, I think it's an issue. It's like, but I think that's just me in general. Whenever I play games or do anything competitively, I feel like maybe part of it is how I grew up because my dad was very into a prep time on anything you do. Like, like for an example, I played soccer competitively in high school and like on a traveling team and in college. And one of the things my dad always said was that like you only get so much time to play like in a real game, so you should practice really hard to like so that you can make those like 60 to or 90 minutes matter. So like we'd practice for like hours and hours and hours just to play one game a week, you know? Like you'd practice like freaking 20 to 30 hours after school or whatever, and you'd only be playing for like 90 minutes. And I guess everything I've done competitively, I've kind of treated like that too. Like even when I played StarCraft, it was like I put like I had like maybe 100 to 200 ranked games played,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like 2,500 custom games played of practicing. Like, I don't know. To me, I think part of that made me like put so much pressure on the idea of when you're actually doing something competitively versus when you're practicing, if that makes sense. That if I don't get that like really high ratio of practice to actual competitiveness, that I don't feel like I'm ready, if that makes sense. Even though clearly sometimes I'm fine, I just am in my own head with that.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
that's not something I generally go through. Like, to be honest, I
if
don't think
I
I've
play
ever.
like 10 ranked games or something, I in my head I'm like, all right, like that's good. Like even if I play and want a bunch, I'm like, all right, now I need to like go practice to make sure that I'm able to play at whatever rank I'm at now. Even if I've already been above that, like when I'm still in plat and I've already gone to diamond. Like I don't know.
It's interesting. I mean, that's. I mean, I think it's a probably a smarter approach to it. Uh, yeah, I mean, I definitely think that for a solo queue player, that's probably a very good approach to go to because you don't generally. I mean, outside of this season, this is the first time I think I've seen you at a negative win rate ever. Um,
Yeah, it's not
and
much anymore. 3 games.
but
I won. I won like 7 out of my last 8 games, luckily.
nice.
So, oh wait, no, I'm down 4 games. Okay.
I think I'm
Yeah,
up
four.
like 9 or 10 games again. Remember where I'm at now. Let's see. I am up
That's
10 games.
nice.
I got up to 10 games again. I got my Rumble to a positive win rate now, which is nice. That took a little bit of time. I had a small dip towards the beginning. I was like, oh shit, maybe Rumble's not the champion. And then I started spamming him more, and I was like, oh, nope, nope, nope. It is definitely just not being as comfortable as I needed to be. So, like, I'm going to go on this tangent real quick. Uh, I have found that I can do a full clear on Rumble at 320, like all 6 camps,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. Uh, I like that. I'm pretty happy with that clear speed. I think I might be able to shave a little bit off of it if I get a good enough leash. But I've also found out that as long as I start from blue side and then move into the red side, I can clear it faster. Uh, and it's just because even though he doesn't really clear the blue side as fast, he clears it about as fast as he would if he's at level 3 if he's level 2. So because of that, I clear the red side faster at level 3. So if I start blue side, I can clear it just about as fast as I normally would. I
Do you
move over
level
to red
shield
side
set?
and I can do it. No, I level my E second. So I do. So what I well, I max shield second, but I level E second. So at level
Yeah,
2, so
that's
yeah,
what I meant.
yeah. So like I'll do.
Imagining, yeah, I was imagining you're cleared if you were having W or E to affect the clear speed.
Yeah, it would. I don't think W is a valuable tool for like.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
meant. I was
yeah.
saying, okay, if you're level 2 and clearing really fast, I'm like, there's no way he's leveling W, right? Because that doesn't really help you clear any faster.
No, but it is really nice right after wolves as I'm walking middle through the lane, killed the wolf with my last torpedo. I hit level 3, I level it, do shield, and I'm already at chickens, and usually I can hit chickens somewhere between 220 to 225. And then I full clear the chickens usually. And as long as I've done the timing right, I can overheat and have my flamethrower going. So I clear the chickens in about 2.5 seconds. I move to red. I can clear red in about 5 to 6 seconds. And then at this point, it takes Krugs, which is the one that takes the longest. So like that's why I think I can get it down to 315. Is if I can maximize how fast I'm doing those other camps just a little bit better by the time, and I just got to get Krugs down just a little bit better. Um, and if I do, I can do a full clear, get level 4 by 315, I think. Um, which I think is just a really good clear. And then his dueling power against the meta junglers is actually pretty freaking good. The only one I struggle against that's meta is Bully Bear. And that's just early fighting, and that's just because Rumble is somewhat of a stat stick to a degree, and Volibear has really good base stats. So as long as and Rumble scales, so Volibear doesn't really scale to the greatest degree. He's not bad, but he doesn't scale as well. So if I just kind of avoid confrontation with him early, I can give up a crab. I could even get double crabbed. And if I get double crabbed, they generally back right off the second crab, and then I finish my full clear back, and I'm back on the map at the same time as them, starting my third clear.
Dude, I don't even know who are the meta junglers right now. I feel like I don't play enough.
Hecarim, Udyr, Volibear are the top three, I think.
So.
And then Morgana's up there as well because she clears obscenely fast.
Yeah, I feel like she already cleared pretty decently without the W buff, so that was kind of weird, random.
Yeah, and the W's getting nerfed next patch because they realized we made her too good at clearing.
Did they are they nerfing it to where it's the same amount as before, or is it still higher?
Before I think it was like 150% damage. Now it's 185, so it's still slight buff, but it is a nerf from
Okay.
where it was. Which should hopefully just keep her as a strong jungle, just not an OP one. So hopefully we don't see her in pro play, but there's a chance of it, and if we do, great, she gets nerfed into the ground again, and I'm okay with it. But the nerf is enough that I think a lot of people will just drop playing her. Because I think once people realized she was broken, they played it. She's getting a nerf, and that's just going to make a lot of people just stop playing. Yeah, they don't care how big the nerf is. Oh, it's a nerf, and they just stop.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I don't want to have to permanently ban her every fucking game anymore. It's so annoying having to ban her every game.
One of my friends ban her every game, no matter what. But he's also a support player, so he has to lane against her.
Yeah, I've been banning her as a jungle because she's the worst thing for Rumble to have to deal with early. Because she clears faster than me, because she's one of the few that can outpace me by that large of a margin. Because she doesn't take skill to clear. That's the thing. It's like with all the other junglers, I can generally keep pace to a lot of the high meta junglers just because I am comfortable with my clear and I know what I'm doing, and a lot of these people are just picking up these champions. Morgana, you can just pick her up. You don't have to be good at what you're doing. She just clears it stupid fast on her own. It doesn't, and like the champion plays itself essentially. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Because I've played it a couple of games and was managing to get 200 to 300 CS games on her. Like it's so
I
easy.
think the only thing that really matters about her is knowing when to grab blue buff during your clear. I think
Yep.
that's the only thing you have to think about. Because if you do like a full red, I feel like you start running out of mana when you get to blue side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do like the full red and then get blue and then do the other side. Because if you try to do a normal camp first, I think you run out of mana before you get to blue.
You run out
Yeah,
enough that you can't
yeah,
QW
where
it.
you're not like spamming,
Yeah. So you can take a
the
little
whole
bit of
time.
damage,
Yeah,
which I mean is rough, but not really because her passive heals her so much. So it's like even if you
yeah.
mess it up there, you're
It's not
still
where like she'll be low. I just meant it's where your clear won't be the
as
most
fast.
efficient.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you go from having a 2:45 second clear to having a 3 minute clear, which is still obscene, but like it's ridiculous. I think I think this the fastest one I saw on Reddit the other day was somebody did it in 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and I was like, that's fucking obscene. Uh,
who have you played the most this season?
this season, I think it's still Gragas. I want to say Gragas still has the most. But I've moved around champions quite a bit this season. I mean, after I started having issues climbing with Gragas, because like I just can't get the consistency on Gragas as I could. I
I
couldn't get
don't
the
feel like
consistency on
his.
Skarner as much either, which is
I
weird.
feel like his jungle clear is too slow.
It is. It's really healthy, but
It's
it's too
so
slow.
fucking slow.
And
Yeah.
especially because the meta has changed to who's as fast as they can be. He just
Yeah.
can't keep up.
I feel
He
like if the other jungler's clear isn't that fast either, it's not a big deal. But when someone clears way faster than you, then you have the pressure of like, okay, I need to make things happen because I'm not gonna out farm them.
which is
And I
already a
feel
problem
like
I have. I don't need it
yeah,
added from my champion as
exactly.
well.
And then I feel like his ganks are good, but when the other person clears so much faster, they can like respond easily. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really enjoyed him jungle either. I've only been playing him in lane for the most part.
Yeah, if I played Lane Gragas, I'd probably be happier with him. I've even had issues with Skarner. Like Skarner's relatively decent clear speed, but the problem is his early dueling power got hit pretty hard a while back, so you can't really duel with him anymore. Which that does lead to a problem when my teammates generally want to go and play, Clown Fiesta games, which is where I like Rumble more, is because you can kind of do it with Rumble. He's a lot safer. He still adds his damage and utility from a distance. Uh, Meanwhile, Skarner, I also couldn't get my farm numbers as consistent with Skarner as I could with Rumble, because you don't pose as much of a skirmishing threat. People generally will want to run you over more. Like they're not afraid to fight you in your jungle, which should be your zone where people just are afraid to mess with you because you have your pillars or your spires. But like it's also just so easy for an enemy mid laner who's decent at roaming to just go take a spire and make my clear that much slower. Like
Yeah.
that is so, especially when my mid laner doesn't move ever and theirs just decides, I'm not even gonna go for a full roam. I'm just gonna go take his red side spire.
Yeah, since I jungle so often, whenever I play lane now, I feel like I do that and it actually impacts the game so much, but people don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Not the specific spire thing, but like let's say I'm top, right? And I shove the wave, and not only do I get level 2 first on him and I get control of the wave because of that, or control of the lane early on because of that, I get to shove that wave in before he can level up, and then I can walk to his buff if he did the bottom to top like clear, you know,
Yeah.
and I can go fuck with him there, like, and I don't even have to kill him or anything. I just have to annoy him, like,
Yeah, you have to slow
where
down his clear,
yeah,
do some
and
extra
then
damage, and then he
and
can't
then
contest crab.
yeah, and then he's gonna ping his teammate like, why the hell aren't you helping me? But his teammate's like, bro, he just shoved me under tower and I'm still level 1 or 2. Like I can't leave and miss all the CXP. And like it's a situation where there's kind of no super right decision for them, you know, or at least they have to be really decisive
Yeah,
with
they
each
have to
other.
be. They have to be like, okay, he's leaving. I know he's going. I'm gonna just give up this wave
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah,
Come down here. We're gonna group and kill him.
yeah.
Uh,
And
um.
then if they hesitate on that at all, then I've already done my job,
Yep.
because the jungler's gonna be mad at the laner, or like if he comes but he waited a bit, then I just have to stand there and then walk out of the jungle, and now the laner's gonna be pissed, like where he's like, dude, you made me miss like a wave at my turret for no reason, and
Yeah.
then the jungler's gonna be like, dude, I needed you to help, like, but it's just because of like that split second decision where they couldn't decide right away
Mhm.
that fucked both of them.
So I was trying to look at numbers recently, because of something I was interested in. I've been interested in trying to figure out what the static number of farm for like each elo for jungler is, and like 5.8 upward is pretty good generally considered in a lot of jungle. I think 5.8 per minute and up is good.
Wow.
Um, Around the
Oh, my
six and a
jungle's
half
very
is
decent.
really like really good for solo queue speaking.
Yeah.
Just because they're expecting it to be a big fight, goddamn clown fiesta and shit, up into to a certain elo bracket. So like my Rumble has a 6.4. Like I'm averaging 196 CS and I average game time of about 25-27 minutes. So like I'm getting relatively good CS numbers overall going on right now. Like I'm pretty happy with it. I'm really happy with the champion in general. Like, oh man, it feels so good. And then being able to realize when I need to split between going Night Harvester or Leandries, changing up my second items. Like, I'm getting so much more comfortable with my building on him. It's so nice. Uh,
Yeah, I wish Goomba was here because we could talk about it. We duoed one game randomly last week,
oh no.
and it was pretty funny, dude. Like the Yasuo, I was playing Malphite in the Yasuo, and the Yasuo roamed and got a free double kill and double buffs. And then Goomba was like, "Yeah, my bad, dude. I forget that like people in this ELO are completely brain dead, or like completely terrible or something." Because the Yasuo roamed on them and turned a 2v2 into a 2v3. And then the Yasuo came back to lane and fought me in like a huge minion wave and died to me right as Goomba said that. It was funny as fuck. I was like a 0-1 Malphite and he was like 3-0 with double buffs and he died to me. Oh no, wait, I was 0-0. He was two. No, no, I died once, but it was to a gank, I think, so he didn't get the kill. So he was 2-0.
Me and
But I
09 only played one game today, and something like that happened. So like I ping I'm going for the top crab to contest their Zac for it, because like arguably we should be able to fight him because our top laner has prio. '09 is only a little bit down prio wise. He's actually pretty even lane with him and Katarina. And we know for a fact that Yone can't move. He's way too far back, and the Malphite's winning the lane somehow. So Malphite is pinging, he's coming. Dumbass, so mind you, this happens like 3 times in the game and it pisses me off. Pings, he's coming, and instead of pathing from where he is in near the enemy tower and just going through the river, he paths back behind his tower through our tribush down to the river. Because he doesn't want to get sandwiched.
Yeah.
But because he doesn't want to get sandwiched, he takes longer than the Yone does to get there. That being said, the Katarina now moves over. Me and '09 have backed off. We think we're going to get out. Kata jumps in on us, and we're like, oh, we're going to turn and kill Kata. We almost kill her. She jumps away to the Zac, throws out a Q, and the Zac lands his Q on '09 and grabs the crab that happened to be walking by and pulls him out from the bush. And it's like, oh no. And so I'm trying to back off, and I see the Kata jump back to kill him, and she has like 20 HP. I'm overheated, so if I just get close enough to auto her, I kill her, so I go for it. Fucking Yone flash Qs knocks me up, and they kill me. Malphite's like, why didn't you wait for me? And it's like, dude, we fought this for 12 seconds, and you just took the longest possible path to get here.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You had the Yone at half HP, you were full. Like, just walk through the fucking river.
It's so weird when, like, it annoys me so much when I have a fight for so long, and somehow, like, either my team doesn't notice or it takes them so long to get there, and I'm so confused when
Like,
that happens.
it happened a second time with him and the Gragas there. Our Gragas support, Malphite top, they're right behind me in river. We're walking up. Yone is way overextended. If we just walk up as a team through river, we're chasing Katarina, who's half HP. She can't turn around to fight us. We can just jump onto the Yone, kill the Yone. Kata can't jump back in. The only person we don't have vision on is the enemy ADC, who we know is walking this way, but won't be there in time, and it's a fucking Jinx. So it's like, she ain't gonna help keep them alive, really. What did my fucking 2 brilliant fucking players do? Malphite decides, no, I need to go to the tower to try to catch the 2 CS that is about to die. So he's not going to get there to him, by the way. He does not manage to get the CS. Gragas decides, oh, I don't like this position anymore, and instead of pinging or saying anything, as he's behind me, he presses E and uses it to go over the wall. So now I'm in the river by myself in the river bush and get collapsed on by the Yone and Cat and then get question mark pinged by both of them. I'm like, we just went from having numbers advantage to you fucking dumb idiots getting me killed. And they're like, what are you doing? And it's like, what do you mean, what am I doing? We pinged, we're going for the kill. Why did both of you just peel off for no reason? Like, he has no flash, he has no ultimate. Like, we know he has nothing, and you peel off.
That sounds like a classic Nick situation.
Like we were walking as a team, and it was just like, why? Why did this happen? And then I managed to do some situations that like won us the game. Like I got all the dragons and shit, so it's fine. But
I feel like when you want to do something, you're really bad at like knowing when your team is not thinking the same thing as you, and being aware to, even if you want to do something and it's the right play, that like you
so
can't. I'm not.
yeah,
I'm not
no, no,
saying that
no.
like.
I get what you're trying to say
Yeah,
in that situation,
like,
but in that specific situation,
like,
it is
yeah.
different though because
I
we
feel like
pinged as a team. I pinged, I'm going there. Gragas pinged, he's going there. Malphite pinged, he's going there. Gragas
yeah,
does a thumbs up, so we're all going there, and then they just changed last second. Like, nah, we're not going there now. Like,
oh, okay, gotcha.
they just like, nah, we just decided we don't want to be there now, and neither of them pinged it off. Like,
I
neither
mean,
pinged it
but
off. Neither of them said anything. They just
was there
decided.
not like, was there not a point where you were kind of like, wait, I'm the only one here? And,
Well, at first I was like, okay, Malphite's doing his bullshit pathing thing again, but Gragas is with me. And we see Kata coming back, and I guess that's why Gragas decides, I don't like this anymore. And he just ease over the wall, leaving me by myself. I don't have flash. My ultimate's just about to come up. So, like, I'm just stuck here now. Like, I can't get out of this scenario.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Like, it went from we had numbers advantage to Malphite just deciding, I don't like this play. Even though both of them had ultimates and my ultimate had about 5 seconds left on it to come up. It was just like, why did you fuckers abandon me? We have numbers advantage. Like,
completely different point, but you're a level 5 Lee Sin, Nick.
I've been level 5 Lee Sin for like a year and a half for some reason.
How come I've never seen the Lord Nick Lee Sin?
You don't want to see the Lord Nick Lee Sin.
What do you mean? It's level 5, dude. That means you're like a fucking pro.
No, that means I can actually land like a ward hop. I can't do an insect though. Like I can't do a ward hop insect. I can do a flash insect. I can't do a ward hop insect for shit.
Right? I like ward hopping to kick more than flashing to kick.
I can't do it, dude. Like I just don't know what the timing is from the ward hop. Also, like I can't ever get the max distance out of a ward hop. Like I
Oh,
always
yeah,
fuck up
that's
the max
good.
distance of ward
I
hop.
was gonna say it's. I feel like it's easier to do the ward hop than the flash because you can ward hop farther behind them, so that while they're still moving. Because I feel like if they're moving during the flash, you have to do it so fast.
If I have something down already, I can do the ward hop like kick. But if I have to place the ward and hop at the same time, I don't have the ability to go from 4 to W that well. Like I don't know.
I keep mine to C, so I tap CWR.
Oh, see, yeah, that might help, I guess. But I have never been able to do a ward hop one real well. I can do pretty decent Q flash R's. I can do
Oh,
decent.
I don't even do.
I can do a flash WR to a Q. Like I could do that kind of okay. There's a couple things I can do on him. I cannot play him mechanically to the skill that a good Lee Sin can. But and I like farming a lot, which is not necessarily always Lee Sin's mo. So,
You like what?
huh?
You like what a lot?
Farming?
Farming. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
like.
you said farting, dude. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I like to fart a lot. That's a
You
hard
know,
thing for the blind man to do.
I like farting too, but I don't know if that has anything to do with playing with
Hey, dude, when I have that much gas, I just lose my
Did
kidney bindings.
I ever show you this? This is
Oh, what is this?
pretty fun on Lee.
Maybe you might have. I don't know if you have. I'll watch it real quick and see. Oh yeah. I have seen this play a couple times. I think I watched
Yeah.
it a few times. I'll give you.
Oh, yeah, this was part of when I was kind of like, maybe I'm actually a little more mechanical than I thought I was. Because I can see how, like, the average Lee Sin player might not do shit like this. But in my head, I'm like, this doesn't seem like super amazing plays, I feel like this is basic stuff that any Lee Sin player should be able to do.
I mean, yes. Hypothetically, if you play Lee Sin, yes, this is something you should be able to do.
Yeah.
I don't
And
play him ever. I have level 5 just because, the system's been out
yeah,
for
yeah.
what, 4 years, and I've played him every now and then since then.
No, but I feel like there are a lot of Lee Sin players who play Lee Sin a lot who couldn't do this, which is really weird to me. Because I feel like I've only been playing Lee a lot for like the last month or so, or maybe 2 months now. Before that, I played him really casually. This is the first time where I actually took time to be like, all right, I want to do clean ward hops. I want to combo people and kill them.
See, but I'm not your only friend that has said that they've wanted to see you play your Lee Sin more, because anytime we ever watch clips from you or we watch you play on a stream, it was always Lee Sin and Shyvana and Gragas. And then
Oh
Goomba's
yeah,
like, you never play Gragas with me. And he's so
that,
disappointed.
yeah, that was when I played on the what's it called? On like the competitive team for a little bit. They liked my Lee Sin, and I drew Lee Sin bans, so that was kind of surprising. But even then, I don't feel like my Lee Sin compared to my Gragas back then. I think my Gragas is like way better than my Lee Sin. It
But
it wasn't until recently where it's like, all right, now they're getting close. Like, and now it depends on the day, like on how I'm feeling that day, which one's better.
I think
Whereas before, go ahead, go ahead.
I think Lee Sin's also a neutral game character though. Like he's so good at, like, if you're good at the neutral game, you're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
be so much better
Exactly.
than like somebody who knows the
It's
moves.
it's really easy to like make a quick decision that just decides a moment, on Lee Sin,
Yeah.
especially right now. I feel like I didn't play him a lot before too because the tank Lee Sin doesn't really play that way. You know what I mean? Like as
He
much as
plays a lot more aggressive. He's
yeah,
I'm
or like
going in.
yeah, and he plays a lot more like you have to make a decisive play, but it also has to be a good play. I feel with like with the Lee Sin I play where it's just full damage, it's like I don't have to make a super good play because I just have to make a decent play because me full comboing someone just instantly kills them. Like even if it wasn't a really good play, it worked out because I turned it into a 4v5. But with tank Lee Sin, like if you do that, you're probably not gonna kill the guy in one combo, and then you're just gonna be in a bad position.
Yeah, like so,
Yeah,
like the take Lee Sin requires you to be like super five heading your opponent as
yeah,
well.
like your
You,
kick has to be really clean. You have to
like
understand how to like
instead
fight.
of looking for that execute, you could do one of two things with it. Like one of the things I seen, like so I love SOFM. He's one of my favorite junglers in the world to watch, and he was the guy that really pushed the tank Lee Sin meta. Uh, and so like one of the things he would do is like he would ward hop, Q the backline person, flash towards his team to get all of them to collapse where he was, and then burn a flash after him, get the Q back to the person, and then kick their front line further into his team. And it's just like, what? Like, how do, like, in most situations, like, this doesn't seem like something that would be a good play, but because now their front line is so isolated, his ADC would just burn them down, and then they'd turn and kill everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like when I remember watching his play at Worlds on Lee. He was right. He was the Lee at Worlds. That was like fucking amazing.
oh, yeah,
Was it Worlds or was it his?
so
Play?
he did it at Worlds. Like, he
Yeah,
was
but I
insane on it.
remember the biggest thing is it felt like his kicks were always perfect for peeling, or
Engaging.
somehow he managed, yeah, or somehow he managed to land a Q on like their AD carry at some
Mm-hmm.
point where I'm like, where do you even time that Q?
Yeah, like he'd
Like,
do all types of weird shit to do it too. And he maxed
I,
out his shield. Like that was the part that was also like nuts. He maxed W first, like almost every game.
I can't. I definitely don't play well enough to be able to play that Lee Sin. That's the Lee Sin yet.
I so wanted to. I wanted to be that Lee Sin when I saw it. I was like, oh man, this makes Lee Sin look so much fun to me because it's so five head now. And I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not Poggers. I'm not five head. I can't do
My
this.
racing is more like, I'm gonna Q someone and they're gonna be dead, and I'm just gonna be so ahead that your tank. It doesn't matter if I Q'd your tank. I'll still kill them.
Yeah, my Lee Sin, it comes down to I can do the peel stuff pretty good. Like I ended up playing it where it's just like, oh, here comes their backline dive and back out you go. Here's the dart, get the fuck away. Like,
Dude, I've been so sad over fucking. I had like two kicks the other day that were so sad. I don't remember what the first one was or the second one, but the first one was against an Irelia, and I comboed her and ward hop kicked her under my turret, and then she just queued back to me, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess. I I thought I was making such a cool play, and you completely negated it. I don't remember the other one. I think it was a Malphite. I like kicked him under my tower, and then he just immediately ulted out, and I was like, oh, I guess you can do that.
I'm trying to think of some funny plays that we had. Oh, I stole a couple kills from '09 yesterday. He was a little salty in game about it, like at first. Like he's in this 1v2 and he's about to get the kill. And I'm like, I'll save you, buddy. He was about to die. So like there's a chance it was gonna be 50-50. Does he get the kill and die, or does he get the kill and barely live? And I decided to say, fuck it, I'm saving you. And I dropped my R and killed the person he was about to kill. And then he still gets killed by the enemy mid. And then I turn around and kill him too. He's like, you son of a bitch, you KS me so hard. It's like, hey, I played Lifesaver. Alright? Like, it was one of the biggest fucking KSs I've ever done in my life. It was, I was at max range Rumble ulti, dropped it, and stole the kill. It's so funny. He was not he was like it's fine, but like I could actually tell there was a lot of salt behind his voice. Like he was pretty upset about the KS. That game he went 11-1 and 8 anyway, so he's doing fine.
Yeah,
Didn't end up
that's
mattering, uh but I've gotten a lot of Malphites recently. I don't know why.
dude. I've been playing Malphite, and he's been really fun.
I'm happy to have him. Shit, I play Rumble. If he goes in and hits multiple people, I drop an ulti on them and they die. Like
I'm 7-1 on Malphite, dude. I'm pretty much a Malphite only player now. Not really though. I still play other champs.
do you though?
Yeah, sadly, he's only fun in like certain matchups. When the matchup isn't good, I don't think I can get away with it.
Yeah, I think it'd be abysmal against like Cassiopeia or Malzahar, like some cheese AP top.
I've been playing it against AD mids like Tristana, Yasuo, Zed. And it's just like, all right, have fun. I'm just not gonna. You're not gonna kill me, and then you don't know what to do. Then you can't snowball, and you don't feel that useful.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen that many of them recently. I don't know why. I saw them a lot, like a month or two ago. I would see a lot of the Trist mids or the. I've seen when I don't play with O9. Well, I play with O9. He plays Yasuo a lot now, because Irelia doesn't scale. Like if you get behind on Irelia, it's really hard to come back and be effective on her.
Yeah, I don't
Akali
know.
does scale, but he doesn't feel like playing the Akali as much recently, for some reason.
No one likes playing Akali anymore.
And so he plays a lot more of the Yasuo now because the O10 Yasuo meme is a legitimate thing. You can just scale with him. You just sit back and farm, and you can be useful, or you can get ahead and just carry early. Uh, and I'm a slow enough player that I can slow down the game enough so that we can get to the late game with him. So he's okay with that to a degree. Now, knowing that that's how he wants to play, though, the first couple of times we were playing together, he played it like it's a Kali before the nerf, so he was playing just super aggro, dying all the time. He has definitely paced himself better now, where if he dies, he's like, all right, I just sit back and farm. Um, so like we're at a point where we're both getting really comfortable with our new champion picks. It's been nice. Um, which is, I think, another part of the original question was what makes a good duo. I think that was a question we asked. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
off topic, but I like it
Uh,
anyway.
I think that's another thing that makes a good duo. Outside of just feeling comfortable being able to play with this person and tilt with this person, like each of you have at least a champion that you can both spam and kind of pseudo one trick for a while that you enjoy playing, so that and then learning how each other like to play, so you complement each other opposed to realizing, damn, we don't play, or realizing that, damn, we don't play anything anywhere near alike. And maybe we wouldn't be good duos. Like, I have, there have been points in times where I've duoed with V Program, the other Nick, and both of us have realized, man, like it's not like we can't play with each other, but our styles don't complement each other, so our teammates just really become that much heavier. Um,
Right, how does he play?
depends on the champion he's on. Uh, if he's on Shen, he can adapt to the game. If he's on anybody else, it's going to be either extremely passive or extremely aggressive. He really likes being more aggressive, but uh, if he dies, he does not take that aggression unless there's somebody on the team that feels they can be aggressive, and then he's just back into being full aggressive. So like
Yes.
he does not outside of Shen, and I think now Bard, I would say probably on his Bard is his probable best support that he plays. His Senna's pretty good, but like his Senna is, I don't know how to phrase what his Senna is. Passive aggressive. I don't fucking. He's very aggressive on the champion, but he is perfectly fine ditching your ass to let you die. Like he's it's interesting. It's, but his Bard is like super aggressive, always seeking plays, and then he's also responsive as well, which like I really like watching him play on his Bard. He's gotten pretty damn good at Bard. Uh, his Rakan is over aggressive. His Shen is very much depending on what his team really needs or what he feels he needs to do. He's very good at responding with that. His Tryndamere is of course extremely aggressive because that's an extremely aggressive champion. So like he plays aggressively.
I don't like Trindamies.
I don't either, but I put it past it with him because like we've played together with
Oh
his
no, I
Tryndamere
meant
and
I
we'll
meant when
cheese
they're
the
on the
shit out of
enemy
people.
team. I meant when they're on the enemy team. I don't,
I don't have a problem
I
with it.
don't
I
like
just pull out
them.
the Skarner and say I don't care. Because yeah, if you pick Tryndamere and I pick Skarner, you're forced to buy a QSS, which really throws off your groove.
I feel like Trindamiers are like a new champion where like when I see them, those people like literally only play Tryndamere and understand how to play the champion so well, and I'm like, why of all the champions did you pick this one? It seems so boring. You just auto attack and spin.
Like it's weird because he's even to me. I play Trundle, and he's boring to me. Like Tryndamere's boring to me. Like I enjoy
I
Trundle,
mean,
who
I
is
like
literally
Trundle
just
more.
a left click. Like I just
Yeah,
run at you,
yeah.
clicking at you.
No, but you get a pillar.
Yeah,
You get to like annoy people with it.
I get to
And your ult.
pillar. I get to steal some
Your
people's
ult is
stats. I
really
get to steal more
yeah.
stats. Like I feel like I'm doing things on
Like
Trundle.
when I play Trundle, dude, and when I ult the tank in my head, I just know that they're so irritated. They're
Yep.
like, right now I don't get to be tanky for like 10 seconds.
Oh, did you see the small nerf they gave him?
Nah.
They gave it to everybody that does this type of stuff, but with him, it is a definite nerf. Is that not many people are going to pay as much attention to, but in like higher lows, it's going to make his win rate drop even more. Uh, there's now a little symbol that pops up that you're losing armor and magic resist for the entire duration that it's there.
Oh.
So you'll know the entire duration of his ulti. Because sometimes the animation stops, but the resistance drain still lasts after the animation.
Yeah, I feel like in the middle or like near the end, it doesn't do it as fast anymore.
Yeah, you
Like, I
don't
feel like
see
it
it.
still does it, but it slows down.
And so a lot of people, so now this is kind of a nerf because you can just look to that little symbol that shows up on your character to know, all right, I'm no longer fucked. You don't have to keep checking your stats. It's a lot easier to look at your model and see that. Uh, which it's a little bit of a nuisance. It's not like it's a nice clarity thing when you're against stuff like that, but it does kind of suck for Trundle because it just makes it a little bit easier for you to understand that thing for him instead of taking that last like couple of seconds where you have it on there and getting yourself killed by it like an idiot. Uh, but I mean, he's getting another non-substantial buff next patch, which I'm not really happy about. Reducing the cooldown on his pillar a little bit. Dope.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that sounds really nice.
It's not huge though, and I don't think it's going to matter as much. His biggest problem isn't his pillar. Like, my pillar being as long as it is like, it's not that big a deal.
But now you're gonna annoy people more often with it.
Yeah. The problem with him is he doesn't have a clear speed by comparison. Like his clear speed's not bad and it's pretty healthy, but it's not anywhere good enough to be competing with the top clear guys. So
Yeah,
it sucks in that regard. And then
and
if you
the top
build the tank build,
creation is insane.
yeah, and if you build the top tank build for him,
Actually, now that I say that, I can play Lee Sin though, and his clear speed isn't that fast.
it's faster than Trundle though because you have a little bit of AOE.
Yeah, but I meant like, because I was saying how I don't like playing Gragas as much because his clear speed feels too slow. But is this slow? Yeah, his is slower than Lee Sin still, right? Maybe
This
that's
is
why.
slower than Lee Sin because
Yeah.
the E buff they give to Lee Sin a while back makes him clear a little bit faster.
Yeah, whenever I play Gragas, it feels so slow, which is weird because I don't imagine.
Oh, and if you don't go Predator, his ganks feel terrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean too. Like his E feels so obvious.
It's too slow and it's too short. Like they gutted it a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that it's short, but yeah, it's really slow too. It's like, especially on certain champs, like I feel like you can only land the E if you're like you walk into like melee range or almost melee range, so that they can't react to it. But if you try to do it like max range E, you like almost never land it now,
Yeah.
just because it's so slow.
The only time I hit the max range E is because I'm Eing and at the very close to the end animation I flash. So I'm
Yeah,
not I'm yeah.
or like you have a teammate who's like zoning them off some other way so
Yeah.
that they can't, if they try to dodge it, they're gonna get hit by something else.
Yeah, something more dangerous.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I like never land max ranges anymore.
Yeah. I also don't like the Night Harvester build on him anymore right now. Like it's the best build for solo queue for him, but it
Because of the
just
burn.
doesn't feel good. Like it
Dude,
just
you want to see my burn build damage? Dude, let me show you.
the Leandri's demonic.
Yeah,
I was doing that for a while. I might go back to that build if I pick him back
insane.
up. It feels good.
Look at my damage, dude, in a 35-minute game. By the way, they were all
40
squishies.
kills? What the
Dude, there were no tanks on that team, by the way. They were all squishies. It was like Kale, Vigor, Twitch.
what the oh, that's an ARAM. Okay. I was like they had to okay,
Yeah,
they couldn't
yeah,
avoid you. Got it. Got it.
yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay, it was Kale, Alistar, Karthus, Yas, or Yon, Twitch.
I was about to be
And
like
yeah.
40 kills, 113k. What the fuck kind of normals game is this?
Dude, if I did that in the normals, that'd be insane. I've only been above 100k a few times in normals and ERAM.
I've done it in normals a few times, but those few times was because something was extraordinarily broken and allowed me to just do an obscene amount of damage. Like the original item reworks, and I played Shaco, I got over, I think, 200k with just the box build that I was doing.
Um,
But that was in a 45-minute game. But I mean, my box was just shredding people. It was disgusting. It was so good. Uh,
yeah, I had one game where it was like I did 125k on AP Ezreal, I think. But the game lasted forever because there was a Ziggs on the enemy team.
hmm.
And my whole team was running it down on enemy. I think we lost the game. I ended up losing when I did like 125k on Ezreal. Oh no, wait, we won. But it was like we were losing the whole time, and literally they just couldn't end because they couldn't kill me. But then we couldn't end because I couldn't kill the Ziggs. Like the rest of their team just ran at me mindlessly, and then there'd always be the Ziggs who'd be sitting in the back spamming and killing my team. So I think that's how the game lasted so long because Ziggs and I were doing the same thing. Both teams just wanted to run at each other and kill each other, and then him and I would both be kiting backwards as we spammed all our skills. And I'm pretty sure he did like 100k damage that game too. It was both of us.
I just looked up my stats for ranked. The most damage I've done in ranked this season was 67k on Rumble.
Wait, how do you see that? I want to see that.
League of Graphs. So you go to League of Graphs, you type in your summoner name, and then you go to your records. Like so far, my highest creep score per minute in solo queue was also on Lilia for 8.46.
Oh wow, you've done more than me. I did 59k for the most on Shyvana. Wait, my most assists. Guess what champion?
Gragas,
No,
Lee Sin,
no, it's funny. Then I should give
Yasuo.
it. Yes. Honest, the assist king Yasuo, dude.
My highest assist was 26 on Gragas. What's your highest deaths? I doubt you're gonna beat me in this one. This one's
14 on Yasuo.
ooh, that's close. 16 on Fiddlesticks.
Damn.
I got my ass kicked that game. What's your first dragon kill time?
5 minutes 25 seconds.
Ooh, 5 minutes 13.941 seconds. It's the
Did you do it with your team or by yourself?
by myself is Shavana.
Oh shit. Okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say mine are mostly by myself on Lee Sin. So
That one set a record in an A. I'm in the top 2,000 for fastest dragon. For the first dragon at least. Highest gold earned for me was 22k, and that was on Rumble.
wait, my highest heal is flat because I don't play healing champions.
Is that the
But flat,
highest total heal?
yeah,
What was it?
28,000.
Oh man, I really outbeat you there. I played a game on Zach the other day, and I got 57,000 for it.
Damn.
I killed a lot that game on Zach.
Wait, what is your largest crit? Holy shit, I didn't know mine was gonna be this high. Mine's 1.5k.
Same, 1567.
Wait, same. What champion?
Nice, Viego.
Oh, mine's Yone.
Uh, Highest gold per minute for me
Oh
is
wait,
six
what's
twenty
your
two.
longest time alive? I want to see how long you lived without anything.
Longest time alive. Skarner, 28 minutes 42 seconds.
Oh shit, okay, you beat me. Mine's 22 minutes in Oriana.
Yeah,
Oh wait, I think it's the whole game. I don't
I
think I died this
I
one.
think that's my
Yeah,
perfect game that I played on
yeah,
Skarner.
yeah. That's my perfect game on Oriana. I didn't die. Okay, that makes sense.
Going back to that game, let me look. Yeah, I was 6-0 and 12 on Skarner at a 28 42 minute game. Um,
What's the most kills you had in 10 minutes?
Most kills at 10 is 5.
Same. Lee Sin.
20?
No, 5.
What?
Oh, 20 minutes? 11.
13. Gotcha. I got it on
Oh,
Echo.
mine's on Lee Sin. Oh, did you play Echo?
I was playing him towards the beginning of the season because it was actually pretty solid. So I was
That's,
playing him for that reason. I enjoy Echo. I just haven't played him much recently.
I'm not global rank on any of these. Feels bad.
I'm only NA ranked on one of them, and it's the first dragon kill time. And that's at
What,
NA, not
right.
global.
What was your best creeps per minute? Mine's actually on a jungler.
Creeps per minute, mine's at jungle 2. 8.46 on Lilia.
9.02 on Shyvana.
Oh, damn. What's your highest Barons killed?
1.
3.
What the hell?
It's not a great stat to have, but
Yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely not a great stat to have, but still, that's pretty insane. Getting 3 Barons in one game.
and that happened 2 weeks ago. It happened exactly 11 days ago on Lilia. I remember that game. That game was atrocious. That game was so bad.
Oh, this was in Flux. Okay.
Let's see. What was your first kill time?
First kill time, like 50 seconds, I think. Yeah, 53 seconds.
53 and what?
53.646.
You motherfucker. Mine was 53.795
What about your
milliseconds off.
how about first death though?
Oh no, 36.484.
Oh, mine's 49.
Yeah, I got invaded
Oh,
on a game I played Kazakhs this season. They killed me really fast.
oh, I won that game. Awesome.
Um, what's your highest wards placed?
28.
34.
Hmm.
I put
My
a lot
highest
that game.
kill time,
How many?
10. I'm sure
15.
you're. Yeah, you do way more vision stuff than I do.
That's my priority. So, um, let's see. Yeah, we touched on most of these. This is. I like this site because they just have random cool shit like this. I love this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I
I
really
like that.
like this site because they also keep track of generally their ranking system, which isn't the greatest, but it's one of the few that's out there, and it's actually not that bad when they do the whole ranking of how you get ranked on your champions. And you have to actively play them enough for them to be like, all right, yeah, you have a rank.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm about to crest into the top 1,500 rumbles in NA.
Top what?
1,500.
I don't have like any ranks because I don't play enough. I think I have two, but they're both really high.
I used to be up there as a avoid me Trundle player. I was a godlike Trundle for a long time, but I haven't played him enough
Oh,
recently.
yeah, it tells you like stats about how you play, right?
Yep.
Oh, I don't play enough for it to give me stats. Feels bad.
Well, I think we've covered a pretty good amount this week. I mean, we really didn't have anything too prepared outside of the stuff that I had prepared around Goomba. And we've gone for almost an hour and a half already.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
No, it really hasn't. Doesn't really feel it. I guess we'll ask the thing that I kind of want to do at the end. I might move it to the foreground next time, depending on how many people we end up having. Who knows? But if there's anybody in chat that has a question, we'll give you guys the next minute or so to type it up. If in that time you don't have any questions come up, we're just gonna call the podcast there, I think. But otherwise, it's been a very fun conversation, nonetheless. At least we definitely went on some tangents this week.
Yeah, I like them though.
Yeah, pretty good.
Anyone in chat? I don't even have your stream open. I just opened it up.
There's a couple people sitting around. Two of them I think are ghosting. I know there's at least one guy in there's. I don't
How
know if he'll
come?
actually.
How come Twitter your Twitter handle is like still your old thing?
Because I never made one with my new stuff, and I just had enough people at one point or another. I had enough of my friends that were other small time streamers followed me at that one, so that's just the Twitter handle that I go by.
I like this tweet.
Which one?
By the way,
Oh. Yeah,
making
yeah.
fun of what's her name.
Well, a lot of people were posting it that day, so I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they're making fun of what's her name though, weren't they? The Pokemon.
well, Pokimane did it, and then all of her friends started doing it, and so everybody else started doing it, and so everybody just did it as jokes, and then
Yeah, yeah. I meant she was like the first one to do it though, and then everyone was making fun of her
yeah,
by saying the same thing.
uh, and then otherwise it's just posts of crap, or my hey, watch my stream, or like way down there. There's one that I really liked, which was the ever thought about it how you've never seen Wiggly or Mancloud in the same room, and how much they look like kind of generic white guys with their haircuts. Well, seeing as we don't have any questions, I'm going to call the podcast here this time. If you guys enjoy the podcast, make sure to give us a like on the YouTube video. Follow my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/ the underscore Lord underscore Nick. Uh, and then all the links to Sark's stuff will be below. And I guess we'll still toss Goomba's stream down below as well, because we've referenced him a couple times at least. So it's only fair. And make sure to go visit his stream and say RIP. Rest in peace, Goomba. Um, anyhow, we'll see you guys in the next episode, and which will be next week, Sunday, roughly around the same time. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later.